Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudev Srila Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Srila Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Srila Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhams Parivrajaka Astodasar Srimad Srila Abhay Chanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anant Kodi Vaishnavrind Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, entitled The Cosmic Manifestation, chapter 5, The Cause of All Causes, text number 14. This time I'll check. 14. We'll all do Mangal Charan. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangshakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Text 14. Dravyam karma cha kalascha. Dravyam karma cha kalascha. Swabhavo jiva evacha. Swabhavo jiva evacha. Vasudevat paro brahman. Vasudevat paro brahman. Nachanyorthosti tatvataha. Nachanyorthosti tatvataha. Dravyam karma cha kalascha. Dravyam karma cha kalascha. Swabhavo jiva evacha. Swabhavo jiva evacha. Vasudevat paro brahman. Vasudevat Brahman. Nachanyorthosti tatvataha. Nachanyorthosti tatvataha. Vaishnavas. Dravyam karma cha kalascha. Swabhavo jiva evacha. Vasudevat paro brahman. Nachanyoritosti tatvataha. Dravyam karma cha kalascha. Swabhavo jiva evacha. Vasudevat paro brahman. Nachanyoritosti tatvataha. Dravyam karma cha kalascha. Swabhavo jiva evacha. Vasudevat paro brahman. Nachanyoritosti tatvataha. Word for word. Dravyam. The ingredients. Earth, water, fire, air and sky. Karma, the interaction. Cha and Kalaha, eternal time. cha also, swabhava, intuition or nature, jiva, the living being, eva, certainly, cha, and vasudeva, from Vasudev, paraha, differentiated parts, Brahman, O Brahmana, na, never, cha, also, anyaha, separate, artaha, value, asti, there is, tatvataha, in truth. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Chanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the 5 elementary ingredients of creation, the interaction thereof set up by the eternal time, and the intuition or nature of the individual living beings are all differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead Vasudeva. And in truth, there is no other value in them. Purport: this phenomenal world is impersonally the representation of Vasudeva, because the ingredients of its creation, their interaction, and the enjoyer of the resultant action, the living beings, are all produced by the external and internal energies of Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 4 and 5. The ingredients, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, as well as the conception of material identity, intelligence, and the mind, are produced of the external energy of the Lord. The living entity who enjoys the interaction of the above gross and subtle ingredients as set up by the eternal time is an offshoot of internal potency, with freedom to remain either in the material world or in the spiritual world. In the material world, the living entity is enticed by deluding nescience, but in the spiritual world, he is in the normal condition of spiritual existence without any delusion. The living entity is known as the marginal potency of the Lord. But in all circumstances, neither the material ingredients nor the spiritual parts and parcel are independent of the personality of Godhead Vasudeva. For all things, whether products of the external, internal, or marginal potencies of the Lord, are simply displays of the same effulgence of the Lord, just as light, heat, and smoke are displays of fire. None of them are separate from the fire. All of them combine together to be called fire. Similarly, all phenomenal manifestations as well as the effulgence of the body of Vasudeva are his impersonal features, whereas he eternally exists in his transcendental form called Satchidananda Vigraha, distinct from all conceptions of material ingredients mentioned above. Yeah. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada writes such big sentences, right? Like, it's so big, like it almost takes up 4 or 5 lines of a paragraph. It's one continuous sentence. Interesting. So here we are seeing Brahma is now presenting to Narada the basis of the Sarga, or the primary creation. So this is right now we're talking Sarga, and then Brahma will come and he will do the Visarga. He will do the secondary creation. Right now we're talking primary. And it is interesting that the Sanskrit word, which is the first word of the shloka, is dravyam. So dravyam means like paraphernalia or ingredients. Srila Prabhupada gives the word ingredients, dravyam. It's the ingredients. And here he's talking about the ingredients, which are the 5 Panchamahabhutas, the 5 elements, right? Earth, water, fire, air, and sky. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining how this becomes the basis, and even Brahma is explaining, this becomes the basis of creation. Now, why this is interesting for us, from a Sarga perspective, from the primary creation, is that once Mahavishnu lies down in the Karana ocean and closes his eyes, ignorance kicks in. Right? That's the first presentation of Ahankar. Right? And that then manifests into the pure form of Shambhu. Sometimes when Shaivites when you hear Shaivites say that, Shambhu is the eternal creator, in one sense they are telling the truth. They are actually speaking the truth, because that Shambhu is actually Vishnu. That, when they say these terms, that Shambhu is the eternal, they are actually correct, but what they are misplacing is they are thinking Shambhu as in Lord Shiva with the, with the 3 ashes on his head and all. That's not the form. Actually, original Shambhu is Vishnu. Right? So in that sense, you can appreciate that, okay, their knowledge has some value. It's just that they have misrepresented the picture. Like, if I say this is Krishna, and then you see one common person walking and you say, hey, hi Krishna. They're not the same thing, right? Okay, both of the name Krishna and you get value. It's not like you don't get value. You do get value by saying Krishna, but that's Krishna. That's Krishna. like that. So Shambhu, that difference. So the reason why we are bringing out Shambhu is that he will now start functioning and building this world with these 5 elements. And the interesting thing is, because the world is built with these 5 elements and we are then put in it, so we haven't seen the labyrinth. Right? Imagine you are sitting and you decide that, okay, today is Janmashtami. So you know how we guys create that snake whenever there's Janmashtami? So you have created the labyrinth. Right? So you've created the pathway, you have people standing there as security guards, because it's a small room, so we have to, snake people through the way, right? We have created the labyrinth, so we can get in and out of it, right? Sometimes when you have to go from there to there, you'll just open the rope and just run through. Because you have created the labyrinth, so you can break the labyrinth, right? You have the ability. But imagine the general crowd, if they try to cut through the ropes, hey, go back, go stand in line. You see? So that is the principle here. The dravyam, the material manifestation has been created. Because the labyrinth has been created first. Now the jiva is put in the labyrinth. Now it's difficult. Now it is because we haven't created now. If you have created a labyrinth, you can get out of it. You created the maze, you can get out of it, right? But here the maze has not been created by us. So now what we are doing is, in the illusion, we are now creating our illusion. So now it becomes even worse. So that is the problem. Krishna has created the full illusion, and this illusion is extraordinary. What we then do is, in this illusion, we create our own illusion. Right? And that illusion makes it worse. It doesn't make it any better. So this is one good appreciation for us, that because this material manifestation has been built, right, by Krishna, then the jiva has been put into it. Now it's a problem. Now it is difficult for us to get out of this labyrinth. So that is why Krishna, when in Bhagavad Gita he is saying, Devi hi aisa gunamai mama maya duratyaya. When he's saying that, he really means it. Like, he's not joking around and saying, hey Arjuna, I'm just letting you know, not for you. This is not the inside joke. No. It's a joke for both devotees and for non-devotees. Devi hi aisa gunamai mama maya duratya. It's very hard. Like, it's very harsh, this principle. In Brahma Samhita, we will see that the 5 main, demigods, it is explained that how all 5 of them serve Krishna. And so Durga Devi is explained there, that she serves Krishna. Right? Ichanam rupam apiyasya chacheshtatesha. Ichana rupa. So whatever Krishna is wishing, she is then formulating on that. Right? So that form, she has taken that form. And what is the form that Krishna has taken here? He's closed his eyes. Yoga Nidra. Right? So then she's enacting that. Okay, Krishna he's going back. He's merging to the background. So then she is enabling that. Based on that desire, she's enabling it. Right? And now we're not able to see Krishna. It's a struggle for us. Right? It is a struggle for us. Where okay, Krishna is here. He's amazing. I'm chanting my rounds. I step outside. Can't see it. Right? So it's a struggle. In chapter 7, Srila Prabhupada writes a very nice purport. It's a very nice line he writes there. He's saying that functionally everything has Krishna in it. All things. All material things, every atom has Krishna in it. So functionally everything is Krishna conscious. Everything has atoms in it, right? Not everything, I apologize. Every atom has Krishna in it. So functionally everything is Krishna conscious, because everything is relying on Krishna. Right? But because of our ignorance to keep it away from Krishna, we are not Krishna conscious. Is that making sense? So it is us who has to get Krishna conscious. Things are already Krishna conscious. The things around us are all Krishna conscious. We have to become Krishna conscious. So that is very interesting that when I was reading that, we were doing in Bhakti Vriksha, we were reading that purport. I was saying, this is so nice how Srila Prabhupada puts this point, right? So here also, you will see that line is being put, that all differentiated part and parcels of the personality of God of Vasudeva, and in truth, there is no other value to them. This material world has no value because everything is relying on Krishna. So the first appreciation as devotees we have, even probably not even as devotees, even as someone who is a spiritualist, who has not even read Shastra, their first appreciation is that I depend on this world. You'll see people who are climate enthusiasts, like we have to fix the climate, we have to live ecologically with the environment. So they appreciate that dependence. They get the dependence, right? Then you have the mining people, they're just mining, they don't appreciate the dependence. So there are people who don't appreciate the dependence. Then you will have people who have little bit of a spiritual realization, they appreciate dependence. Okay, I depend on something. Devotee takes it to a fuller extent. I have completely dependent on Krishna. I'm a part and parcel, full dependence on Krishna. So devotee takes it to the personal level. So the first level of independence, I depend on nature, right? That's very generic. Because nature has many things, right? Poison is also part of nature, right? Nature has many things. So which part of nature are you depending on, right? So that impersonal doesn't hold value. You have to make it personal. So devotee tries to take the impersonal out and make it personal, finally sees Krishna, right? So the first thing is this dravyam, this paraphernalia, it is built, okay? Now there is karma. So karma here is not the standard karma that we are dealing, but this is interaction. Even the energy, the dead matter has to work. So how can you make dead matter function? You add time into it, right? You add time. So that's why kala. Now how to appreciate this, and I like to do this in universities as well, and say, you guys remember when you were kids, we had the flip books, the cartoon books. So what happens is, if you look at each page individually, you can see that the picture is drawn like this. Right? It's drawn like that. So imagine someone's hand is moving, the picture is drawn. When you flip the book, it looks like this. It looks like such a smooth movement. Right? And that is true even for us. When we are looking at living beings, like us, human beings. When you're seeing my hands move, they're actually functioning like that. It's actually moving like this. Right? It's not like a smooth, like the word Vraja also means dynamic. So that dynamicism we can only actually get in the spiritual world, where there is no longer this. It's actually dynamic, right? It's actually very dynamic. But here, everything is staggered. Even when I'm trying to lift my hand, I'm be like, slowly. And you'll especially see this when you fall sick, right? When you fall sick, when you're trying to lift your hand, you can see the slowness and effort that it takes to pick it. You can see the flip book slowing down. Right? But otherwise, the flip book is, running in full speed, and we're like, oh yeah, this is, real life. They say the real life or real life. So the reels are actually, in the movie reels, they're all snaps. Right? So this time, this presentation of time, this eternal time comes in, and it builds this snapshot of movement to get dead matter to start functioning. Right? Dead matter has to function. So for it to function, so imagine we are all sitting here and suddenly this Mridanga gets up. We'll be like, whoa, magic. Right? Whenever you see magicians, you'll see them, they're moving, inanimate matter. And we find that very extraordinary. Because if an inanimate object moves, right, for it to move, when we see something moving, we feel it's alive. Right? Sometimes you may have seen, like a balloon, flying in the air. It's, it just intrigues you, doesn't it? You're just walking down the street, it's a bland day, you see a balloon, and you're like... And then you're interested, where did the balloon go? You see? Because something is moving, immediately it attracts, oh, okay, it's alive. Because that sense of living is there. Right? So that, it is time that is causing that interaction. So time, there is the ingredients, time attaches itself to those ingredients and it causes it to interact. So, dravyam karma cha kalascha. So, this is the first basic presentation that has been explained in this primary creation. That's how time affects. Right now, I had a pretty strong conversation with my dad saying that, well, if I had an issue with Krishna, Why didn't Krishna just send me to another eternal place? Isn't that a safer position? Why bring me to a dead place? Right? I need to go to another eternal place. So the first principle here is, our issue with Krishna is the fact that he is the center of attention. That is the issue. So if Krishna threw us into another eternal place, i.e. Brahma Jyoti, he just threw us there, we would not have fun, because our issue is we are the center of attention. I need to be center of attention. So you need to now come into a place where you have exact same position that Krishna has. So Krishna is living. He has all devotees who are living, who are attracted to him. So now you get a perverted reflection of that in the material world, where this living being is trying to attract other living beings. Are you seeing that principle of perversion? So it's the same thing. The same thing is happening in the spiritual world. And here's something interesting, right? In the material world, separation from Krishna is what is pure ignorance. Yeah, in the material world. In the spiritual world, separation from Krishna is the pure vipralamba, is the topmost love. The same thing, but it's perverted in the material. But in the spiritual, it's the topmost. That vipralamba, that separation from Krishna has the greatest rasa. But in the material world, that separation from Krishna is ignorance. You see the same thing, when it is flipped over, it gives great joy. When it flips down, it gives great ignorance. So it's very interesting, this idea. So this swabhavo jiva, this swabhava, so this term swabhava, Srila Prabhupada writes it in the purport as well. He's talking about the subtle body. This swabhava, this intuition or nature of the individual being, which is your buddhi, your ahankara, and your mana, your mind, your three things, right? The three bases, these three subtle bodies. The purpose of this three subtle body is to cover your three qualities. What are our three qualities? Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat is our eternal quality. That gets covered by ahankar. Right? So the first covering is covered by ahankar. Now ahankar is, if Sat means I'm eternal, ahankar says, no, you are the body. You see, it covers, right? Then Chit is knowledge. That is covered by buddhi. So that is why what is buddhi's principle? Deep sleep, dreaming state, and fully awake. Or dream state meaning half awake and fully awake. That's buddhi, right? So this covers Chit. And then Ananda, the mind. The mind covers the Ananda. So now your subtle body is there covering your three primary qualities. Now these three primary qualities are being pushed down. So your new swabhava is being built. Right? So you know how Srila Prabhupada uses the term real ego? Your swarupya is your real ego. Right? So that is your Satchitanand. That is my real ego. Right? This subtle body is now pushing that down, and now I have a new bhava. My mood has changed. And this swabhavo jiva is there in the primary creation. Right? So that is why it is explained that when one goes back, then the subtle body merges back. It merges back into the Mahatattva. The subtle body doesn't go back to the spiritual world. You get a spiritual body. So then the subtle body merges back out. Right? Because it is actually part of this material creation. It is part of the sarga principle. Right? So this swabhavo jiva evacha. So this is another aspect that is brought in. Then Vasudeva Paro Brahman. All of this is coming from Vasudeva. Krishna is the primary radiator of all of this. And because he is a primary radiator, there is no other truth. So Tattvat. So the last word is Tattvat. There is no other truth but Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada very emphatically says this in the shloka. So I want to read this long purport again, but it's very nice. The living, in all circumstances, neither the material ingredients nor the spiritual parts and parcels are independent of the personality of Godhead. For all things, whether products of the external, internal, or marginal potencies of the Lord, are simply displays of the same effulgence of the Lord, just as light, heat, and smoke are displays of fire. So they're so powerful how Srila Prabhupada writes that, right? So it's a very small shloka, very simple shloka. I've ended a little early today, it's 8:30, but not much more to add. I want to stick to what Srila Prabhupada has written in the purport. So Srila Prabhupada has already explained everything. So it's very simple, but the first creation he's showing is Dravyam, then there is Kala. Kala will get this to act, karma, interact, and then within that the Jiva, the Swabhava, my these subtle body exists, I will get merged, I will get covered by the subtle body, not merged, sorry, covered by the subtle body, and then I'll play in this labyrinth, right? So this is the principle. So yeah, it's 8:30. Sorry, I just ended a little early, but yeah, that is a simple shloka, but you get the idea. Devotees want to share something that they have? They have any thoughts?
During the creation, we can read something called as pradhana. What does pradhana exactly looks like? How can we understand what is pradhana?
Yeah. Bhaktividya Poon Maharaj explains this very nicely. He says that is Sankarshan is the original Mahavishnu. So it's Sankarshan, that is Mahavishnu. Whenever we say Mahavishnu, it's Sankarshan. So Sankarshan, Mahavishnu, Karano, Dakshayi, Vishnu are all one. They're the same personality, like physical personalities, they are the same. And it's very interesting, he was saying, why Shankarshan? Because if you think of the spiritual world, the paraphernalia set up are by Balaram. Right? So how does the material paraphernalia all get set up? Through him only, but through Shankarshan. It's interesting, isn't it? He was linking all of this up. And then he's explaining how the original, that whenever we say Mahatattva, so there are different flavors to it, and Pradhana is one amongst them. Pradhana is actually part, and then there is Mahat as well, so, and then Shambhu. So it's a little esoteric, the concept is a little esoteric, but just flow with it. There is Sankarshan. Sankarshan will come into Karana. Right, that gives rise to the Mahat. That is the Mahatattva. Means right now it is inactive. Right. Then through his glance, Shambhu and Pradhana. Now that has now become the active principle. All right, and from that also inside that there is Mahat, and then that creates. So it's a little esoteric, but you get the idea. Right. So it is Sankarshan into the Karana ocean. Right, and now there is the entire Mahatattva and everything. So that is all. Inanimate, sorry, I shouldn't use inanimate. It is not in a present, not in a formed. It's not formed yet. It is, think of it as just a big pool of water. And then when Krishna then looks into it, and then Shambhu appears, right? Then he becomes the linga. So we will come to all this. It will be explained here, and this is also in Brahma Samhita is explained nicely that there's a linga. That linga is Shambhu, and people always mistake it to be Shiva. That actually it is Shambhu, it is Vishnu. And you'll see this in these shlokas as well. That is actually Vishnu. Right? So he's the original linga. Right? And then Pradhana will come, and that is the original material creation. And that is the first form that comes out from it. Little esoteric, but you get the idea. Right? There is I'm trying to remember that book. What is the book written by the Bombay devotees? You know that book? What is it called? Subodhini, thank you. In Subodhini they have described this. Thanks. That's the book. I don't know if you have that book. You have that. If you read that, then the same thing is described. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
You said that dead matter functions due to the influence of time.
Yeah.
So we can see dead matter which has a spirit soul inside our body.
Yes.
We can see the influence of time.
Yes.
The body gets old or even karma brings certain reactions to that.
True.
Matter, and we can see the effects of that with the car crash or the body gets deformed.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So if we look at just dead matter by itself, without a soul, like a piece of stone or a stone or rock or something, if I put a rock like inside an airtight glass case or something, then in what observable way would we see the influence of time on dead matter?
It is interesting to note that this construct of dead matter sitting in space is functionally the entire cosmic manifestation. This construct, like we try to think it in our world, but the construct is functionally this material creation. Even how much we trust mathematical, theoretical physicists is up to us. But if you see the constructs of what they're saying is pretty much what Bhagavatam is saying. They're saying much of the space is empty. And so how we say the 7 layers of and each layer is 10 times greater and it's all empty. Kind of similar. Of course, we don't call it empty because we say no, there is actually the Panchamahabhutas are there, so it's not really empty. But even theoretical physicists accept the fact that there is weight. So that's how this concept of dark matter and dark energy comes. Because they're saying this planet has weight. Right? That is why Earth is floating. Like, you can imagine, right? If I take this, small piece, what weight is this? I leave it, it drops. Right? It drops. And where does it stop? It stops where there is weight. So it fell on this table has weight. So this table can hold this, small, petal. So this Earth also has weight. So where is the Earth sitting? It's sitting on something. So this is what they call as the space-time mesh. And this is the dark matter and dark energy. And it has mass. So even they agree that it has mass. This Earth has mass. And the reason the mass is built is actually because of this Panch Mahabhutas. So this construct of can I see something in space and it being affected by time? Yes. Yes, you can. Right? Time affects everything. Right? It's not like if there is vacuum, then time doesn't affect. No, time affects everything. Because the one thing that even crosses vacuum is our waves. Waves, like, I'm not just talking sound waves, but waves in general, they cross even vacuum. So that's why from here, we send radio signals to the satellites. We are able to talk to them. Right? So that communication is because of waves. And this wave is Shabda. So when even in Subodhini and all, when you will read that, the first penetration into this earth is sound. And from sound comes space. Right? So you will see that correlation. So even if you were to put something in vacuum, right, it will be affected by time. It will be. And this material cosmic manifestation is an example of that principle. Things will break, earth will break, everything will break. Eventually. I mean, not now, but eventually that which is created will be broken. And so that principle of time does exist. Now, one could make an argument that it didn't happen in my lifetime. And that argument holds. Like, when the guys built the pyramids, in their lifetime, the pyramids were okay. We are now seeing after 500, 600 or 1,000 years, right? We can see the pyramids are, slowly, they're eroding. So over time, things will erode. That I like that, the journalist who asked Srila Prabhupada, why have you come here? He said, I've come here to save you from the lives of cats and dogs. The guy gets a bit cheesed off. He says, I hear the death rate in India is very high. He said, no, it's same as everywhere else, 100%. I gotta love that. Just love that. It's fantastic to have a Vaishnava Acharya just thump down the realities of life. Same as everywhere else, 100%. And the journalist became quiet. I can't deal with this situation. So that principle actually is the material creation. 100%, everything will be destroyed. No vacuum, nothing can save us.
And from a devotion perspective, would you say that dark matter is ether?
You can say it is ether, yes. Originally, it will be you are right. Ether will be one of them, you are right. So, but it's actually all the 5 creations are there. And each are 10 times bigger than the previous layer. So, all of that is there. I'm just trying to remember the exact numbers. Who remembers in Brahma Samhita, these numbers are there exactly. Like it is, I don't know, these many yojanas, like the entire, in fact, even in Bhagavatam also, the diametric, view is given and how each is like, 10 times greater than the others. There's quite a lot of empty space. And then the functioning world is much smaller. So think of it like this: the Garbhoka ocean, the Garbha, the half is filled with the ocean. So that half is gone, and then within all of it, and then there are all these layers. So it's quite a lot of emptiness. So that concept of space, vacuum and space does exist. It does exist, but it will also be destroyed. So that's true. Because imagine even in such a state, waves can pass through. So nothing is stable. Like there is, for things not to be destroyed, it should not be affected. Right? So that is why very emphatically in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we keep saying when Krishna comes to the material world, he is not affected. Why is that word being used? It's because even in vacuum, you can throw, radiations. Like we worthless human beings can, shoot a, radio signal up. and let it pass through. So we have that ability. And so we can change, we can cause a ripple and we can now change it. So if it's affected, it will be destroyed. And so that's why we keep saying Krishna is not affected. Krishna Devi Janma Karma Chame Divyam. So he emphatically keeps saying this, I will not be destroyed. So yeah, your point is valid because you may get that scientific position that, vacuum, nothing destroys. If I can put something in vacuum, I can preserve it forever. Never happened. Right? Not happened in it can happen in theory. So in theoretical physics, it can happen. But in the functioning world, it doesn't happen. So yeah. That's an interesting point. Yeah, that's true.
So just that point about how the Sat is covered by the false ego and so on.
Yeah.
Where exactly is that mentioned? Is that in Bhagavatam?
I'm just trying to recollect. Probably it was Brahma Samhita. I don't remember exactly. And I think we even asked Bhaktividya Poon Maharaj this question and he confirmed that that's how it is. This must have been a few years ago. I think, I forgot the name, Adi Purush Prabhu. He asked this question as well to Bhaktivedanta. He said, yep, that's how it is. Your question is, where is it? I'll need to remember. I think it's Brahma Samhita. I'll need to remember. Yeah. And then that's how the three coverings cover your original spiritual, and then it pushes it down, and now this is what I believe I am. So it doesn't allow those forms to come out. That's why if the mind is covered, then Ananda opens up, then the intelligence wakes up, then the false ego dies out. And then your original spiritual energy comes out. Yeah. Yeah, then? Alright, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.